Hello there fellow Yomi worshippers. I'm very happy to get a lot of positive reception out of my critical thinking videos. Obviously, I will still make low effort shit posts, because that's what the foundation of the channel has always been. Today, I want to tell you the story on how I went from loving Anim Cross 1, to starting a huge series of Roblox games meant to fix the problems within the crossover community. There will be recorded footage, to explain what I'm talking about to those who got into Roblox before 2017, the big heyday of Anim Cross 1. The game had a simple concept, which was to unite plenty of characters from other franchises into one, and have a blast. It was executed amazingly, and improved significantly over the other games before it, heightening the genre to the level of game similar to murder mystery. For me, and a lot of my friends, it was an enjoyable and fun experience, even during huge game-breaking issues, such as Goku being able to use the Super Spirit Bomb in small, enclosed areas, as well as Mob's entire character. Sure, we had thoughts about fixing a bit of the issues, but it wasn't a huge looming necessity. After the relative golden age of Killer previously being nerfed, and a few new characters that didn't break the balance too much, we were really excited for what could come next. We even jokingly made fun of Magi's Aladdin getting announced as if it was some kind of Disney crossover. Little did we know, us poking fun at the character quickly turned into absolutely despising him and everything he stood for. Aladdin was busted. Way more busted than anything we've ever seen before, because not only could he cast pillars that no other character had a counter to, but he did absurd amounts of damage. And this was post Killer got a go fast phase, and after Goku got a nerf to his Dragon Fist teleport range, meaning he basically had to be the reincarnation of Yomi herself, to not die instantly the moment Aladdin awakened. And that was super easy to do as well for him, even more so than everyone else. This went unpatched for a whole 2 weeks before his eventual nerf to being mid at best. But it brought Jotaro, the literal Z tier back in the day due to his instant cast time stop ability, and Suna, the guy who literally could fire 2 huge beams at once, and had an instant cast cursor ability. Because of this, the matchups went practically overnight from matchups against another character, to whoever could compete with the top tiers. Not even Mob was safe. And that wasn't even the worst of the update. Sekirin thought it was a fantastic idea to put a level restriction on the forms, basically shooting new, already crippled players in the foot, and making them unable to catch up to those who literally just started playing a day before. Just what the fuck was Sekirin thinking? Because of that huge blowout, the game became so unplayable to the point where people let noobs win out of pity, and those who didn't do that were considered assholes. And I was baffled at how there were no alternatives or competitors. So, I spent the spring of 2017 making the grand idea for a team-based game which would heavily rely on communication in order to win the match. Of course, I had no knowledge of Lua and only just recently joined Discord, so I was practically alone in this regard, and unable to get my game idea greenlit to any major developers. However, my friend Shades, the oddball of my Roblox circle of friends, and the one who arguably was the gate of the movement, helped me get a staunch young man by the name of Firewalker. He was the one who mainly built upon the idea, and gave it proper footing. At the time, we didn't know how to make a round system, so the game was unfortunately limited to only being a free-for-all, traditional, battle arena game. The name it went by was an encrusting Keiichi. I never told anyone the true meaning of the title, but it was meant to be a turning point for the genre, hence why it was so blatant. However, while Firewalker was working on a Susanoo for Kakashi, he told me on how Roblox could potentially shut down the game if Sekirin asked, so we renamed the project to Anim Battle Simulator. The game remained simplistic, but was meant to be a cross of Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Punch Man, before it branched out more into other franchises. However, what stopped the game from really taking off was an overall lack of external support. And so the game remained dormant for 3 months, while I was a stand-in for other projects. And holy shit, the amount of drama I would encounter in the search to gain that support was ridiculous. And so 3 months were filled with it before I, myself, created the round system I was searching for, and another one of my lads, Izanagi 456, discovered how to script for himself. That was the birth of the Anim Battle Simulator you know today. So we worked as a team, me making the models and sometimes attacks, while he would do the particles, and also script a bit. The project would encompass a total of 26 playable characters from a variety of source material, and have a very detailed backstory directed by myself. But however, again, a huge lack of support for the project led to frequent delays, which would plague future releases. The game also introduced the idea of unlockable, hidden characters through codes and hidden buttons, and the first notion of multiple versions of a character in the same slot. But as I was on a spree of making more characters, one of which was Gotenks, Izanagi found out how to do combo attacks with beams. Of course, I was excited, so I commissioned him to be the head of Anime Battle Simulator 2. A lot of cool mechanics were added, but it just didn't feel as fluid, or have the same charm as the first game, which held me off on openly supporting it, like I did previously. That, and I was actively discouraged to. Eventually, when the flittering-enabled change came about, after a lack of updates, I shut down the game, and declared it a failure. To openly make up for that disappointment in my eyes, I ended up starting a huge revolutionary project, which people really liked the idea of. Sadly though, it got even less support than the first one did, and not much other than concept and idea work was done before ROBLOX pulled the plug on it. So basically, we moved to UE4. Remember to support Anime Keepers, if you wanted a good anime crossover, now that the abomination known as Jump Force is out.